How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to Tokyo Rising and Tokyo 23. Today we have the biggest game in the team's history as we take on the reigning J1 champions in Kashima Antlers, a pretty bloody good football team in the context of Japanese football. Had been on a bit of a downward swing, had one hell of a year last year, and whilst they're struggling a little this year in J1, make no mistake, they're going to be a tough game for us today. Now, since last episode, the transfer window swung open. I made a signing. That man was Sota Kishimichi. Yeah, you know this guy? He looks okay, right? He's not going to play today. He's injured for 3 months. He dislocated his shoulder. Not my best signing ever. Probably should have looked at his injury history before I decided to sign him. As for things in J3, we've only lost 1 game so far this year. You might remember that was just last episode, which if you didn't see it, well, spoilers, we lost against Reliak. Since last episode, Reliak have been on a tear. I think when we took them on, they were in the bottom half. They are now up to 4th. We need to keep an eye over our shoulders. There is teams in hot pursuit. We need a win today. Today's league game is going to be this one here against Kagoshima United, a game that we should be winning against a team in 11th. Of course, we did take them on earlier on this year in a video, and on that occasion it was 0-0, so I'm hoping for a little bit of retribution today. Let's hope today's game is better against them. Let's hope we don't get destroyed too badly by Kashima Antlers. We're going to run the intro, talk about games, talk about potential transfers, more out than in, right after the intro. Let's do this. Today, by the way, is episode number 27 of this series. I hope you guys are still enjoying it. The views have started to drop down just a little bit. I feel like it's that time of the year where interest in Football Manager is waning. The football season is wrapped up. We're approaching the end of the Euros and Copa America as well. But make no mistake, the good times are going to continue to go on here in Japan. And, well, like I said, good times should continue to go on. Not everything is great here, though. And that is because if we just sort by morale, it's safe to say there's some unhappy campers at the club. A few examples include Yoniyama, our main advanced playmaker backup, who's currently unhappy about a lack of first-team football. The man who's keeping him out of the first team in Yamada, who's unhappy I'm not selling him. Yeah, he's had a lot of interest from teams. Imagine if I sold him to Hollyhock now. That ain't happening. Numata, who's been a good backup left-back for the last couple of years, is unhappy too, and just in general, the vibe here could be better. Like I already mentioned, I signed Koshimichi. He's the only player that we've signed or sold during the summer transfer window thus far, although it is still technically open. I thought the 23-year-old could add a bit of depth, especially because Jun Nakajima was complaining about a lack of first-team football. This guy's been a loyal servant to the club, but I was thinking, maybe we can move him on. That's not now going to be happening, because as I mentioned, Sota is out for a long while. Now, in terms of transfers in and out, there's nothing happening right now. That's not to say nothing will ever happen, though, because if I just show you our current first team, there's a lot of players here listed as wanted. I mentioned Yamada already. Komori, of course, had all that interest in him during the pre-season period. I chose not to sell him. He has been showing some signs of discontent on the fact I'm not willing to sell him. In reality, if he was the left midfield option, I probably would look to move him on because I think we've got better depth there. But at right mid, we don't have a guy as comparable as, well, anyone to Komori. 8 assists in 20 games. I just can't lose that. But it is safe to say the general vibe around the club could be a lot better. There's a lot of players asking to leave. There's some that I think are just discontent due to the other players in the team not doing so well. You'd think when you look at this morale that maybe we've been struggling lately. That really isn't the case. Now, of course, last episode we took on Reliak, and I said at that point, we're going to come back from the Emperor's Cup whenever it may be. Now, because Kashima Antlers had some extra competitions, this game is actually a little bit late to happen. They were playing in the J-League World Challenge. I'm not familiar with this competition, but I assume it's a competition for, well, different national champions of different countries. The reigning champions before Atalanta were Tottenham. This year, it was Atalanta, as I've already said. Kashima Antlers got battered in both games. I'm going to hope that we can battle them. Maybe they're going to be dented morale-wise going into this game. The 2 games that they got demolished in were their most recent games. But yes, as a result of Kashima being busy, we have played a handful of games since last episode. In fact, we've played 6 games. Could you fit them all in one hand? No idea. Let me know. How big are your hands? How many matches can you fit in your hand? What a ridiculous question. Let's talk about the form. First, we took on Fujeda. 5-1 win here. Great result. Kayanoki with 2 goals was really nice. Batata continuing on with his goal-scoring ways. We then took on Rheinmir and beat them 2-1. I have to talk about Rheinmir here. Is this the greatest badge of all time? I'm not sure if it is or isn't. I've not seen the film Moana. The guy looks a bit like the Maori guy in Moa. Do you know the guy? I'm not sure if this is meant to be a character or what's going on. He looks angry. He looks like he could be in Dragon Ball Z, mind you, with the hair. Anyway, following on from 2 wins, 2 draws, Van Rome and Vesper. 2 games that we really should be winning. Vesper are in 19th. They are right down towards the bottom of the table. We couldn't beat them. Good news though, couple of wins lately. Neither of these very convincing. The first was 3-2 at home. 96th minute goal for Sakurai was the all-important one. It was a really big goal for him. In fact, it was his first goal in Tokyo 23 colours. I brought this guy in as a bit of a depth player. We were missing both Takagi and I believe Batata for this game due to injury. So as a result of that, it was a bit of a weird look team. In spite of that though, Omarov played well and picked up man of the match. Sakurai, as I said, got his first goal for the club. That was a nice win. We followed that 3-2 up with another 3-2, this time against Sagan Tosu. I talked about this guy a lot, Sagan Tosu. Of course, they are a team that starts in J1. They have really struggled in this save game. They are currently bottom of J3. They could be about to have a 3rd relegation in a row, which would be absolutely insane. They're going to feel a bit hard done by here. We were 2-0 up at half-time. I decided to sub off a lot of the first team players, thinking, we'll rest them for the Emperor's Cup game. And we very nearly regretted that. We did end up coming back in the end and winning 3-2. A 70th minute goal for Yoshikawa was the all-important one. Yoshikawa, not very happy at the club at the moment, but in spite of that, he has been playing some decent minutes for us as more of a backup option. I'm hoping that eventually he's just going to accept his new role in the squad. Of course, with Vinicius Diniz coming in, he's not really a good backup option for us anymore, Yoshikawa. Anyway, with those 6 games played, our league position is looking pretty good. At one point, obviously, the top half of the table was really close. There is now kind of a pack of 4 teams running away with it a little bit as we exceed the halfway point in the year. Worth noting, Reliac have played a game more than us, so in spite of the fact they are 4 points behind us, they are a little less of a threat. It does look like it's going to be ourselves and Hollyhock battling towards the top of the table. These guys have been a pretty constant thorn in the side so far this year. Given the fact we take on Hollyhock and Picaro back-to-back games at the end of next month, I think we're going to have to come back for those ones because they feel pretty important in the context of the season, even if they're not too far away. But let's not get distracted by the here and now. There's no away day today. I'm very sorry for that, but we have got a game here against Kashima Antlers. I really want to do well in this one. Just for a bit of context as well, Martin Satriano here is their key man. He is currently on £34,000 a week. Yeah, you can kind of see here how crazy the money in Japan really scales up when it comes to the big guns that teams are able to attract. Of course, they have a limitation on foreign players, but that said, look at the star ratings through their entire team. They are simply put much better than us. Maybe we can get a bit lucky in this game. Maybe they'll play a B team, similarly to what we played in the previous round. But being realistic for a moment, this is one of those games where I'm really coming back because it's a special occasion. We're taking on the champions of the whole of Japan, not necessarily because I think we're going to win. In terms of team news for today's game, this is the exact team we're going to go with. In terms of the team, you'll notice Batata not starting. Batata injured. In fact, he's failed his fitness test. He should not even be on the bench. I'm going to bring in Otsuka to play on the bench. You might remember Otsuka. He was a player who broke his ankle last year. Can you remember that? He was out for a long time. Yeah, he's still alive and kicking at the club. He's played a handful of games for us without really being super inspiring. I mentioned earlier the fact that Sakurai got his first goal for the team recently as well. A decent little younger striking option who can play out on the left. As of late, I've started putting him on the bench over Jun Nakajima. I'm going to be honest, Sakurai is just a better option in pretty much all areas. The rest of the team, though, is looking pretty standard at this point. Omarov is going to come in for Batata. At the back, Takeshi is playing alongside Yoshida. These two have got a little bit of a partnership going. Yoshida missed a period of football through injury, but has been much better upon his return. Otaki still keeping an eye on his left-back performances. I do feel like he is slowly getting better, though. Okay, it's our first time taking on a J1 team. It's our first time finding ourselves in the Emperor's Cup 3rd round. This is the big national team competition. I want to do well in it. We're going to see what we can do here. I'm just looking at their team. They've got Taniguchi up top. That is not a Uruguayan name, isn't it? So their Uruguayan forward, who I was a bit scared of, may not even be starting this game. If I'm not mistaken, actually, with the Emperor's Cup, they might be a bit stricter on foreign player rules. So as a result of all the foreign players they've got, there is a slim chance that they can't actually field as strong a team as I feared. That said, it's still going to take a monumental effort to get something here. We're going to look to make something happen here as Takagi tries to pick out Omarov. It's flicked on, but it's only flicked on as far as Yasuke Kumore. We're a goal up. I don't want to get carried away. We're going to the Champions League. I said that last time. It didn't backfire then. Surely it can't backfire now. Takagi to the byline. I thought actually when he whipped in this ball here, he'd overhit it, but it went over everyone. The defender couldn't really get a meaningful clearance away, and Kumori Very nice finish. I am just evaluating the team that Antlers are playing here. They are definitely playing a rotated team. That said, it's still full of rather good players. This guy's not good, mind you. Compared to some of the players that we have in our team, I think it's safe to say this is still a better team than ours. I mean, they've got a Chilean and a Romanian on either wing. They must be good. Okay, well, we've got our noses ahead in this game, but as we've already established, they have got quality going forward. The ball with Taniguchi now is looking to hold it at the play. Lays it wide to the Chilean in Flores. He's going to be looking to pick out a man in the middle. Is there anyone there to aim for? All the way across. I told you, they've got a Chilean and a Romanian. They must be good. One's assisted. The other one scored the goal. So I lead it there right then. Lasted 8 minutes. I mean, we were winning for a little bit. Let's look at the positives. We were winning for a little bit. Maybe Noda could have done better. It's a header at the back post. I can put players like Noda under the magnifying glass here, can't I? Really start to analyse their performance. Fundamentally, we're just playing against a team that have better players than us. I mean, their goalkeeper here in Naumov is a Bulgarian international goalkeeper. He's a bit better than Baby Noda, isn't he? It's not fair, is it? It's a miracle we've scored 1. Okay, I mean, 1-1 still in this game. I thought there was going to be a flurry of chances after 2 early goals. Instead, we've nearly survived to half-time. I want to believe we can survive, but we might need to do a bit of defending here. Kamori, the goal scorer, with the initial tackle on Flores, but he's managed to keep hold of the ball and lay it to Ishihara. Kikuchi now, Sano, edge of the box, lays it back to Ada. He is now going to put it into the wide area for Sukahara to maybe get the ball into the middle. I don't want to concede here. It'd be painful if it was to go in. The ball's at the edge of the box. It's blocked away. And now suddenly, there could be a counter-attack. It's a 3-on-3 if we're quick about it. Kamori has to pick the right pass. He does so to Omarov. Takagi's in the middle. Takagi is there. That is the most Tokyo 23 goal I've seen in a while. An incisive counter-attack sees us take the lead. It's been an even half. Looking at the stats in the top left, we've only had 37 or 35 rather % of the ball. But when we've had it, we've made stuff happen. Nice finish by Takagi. Some questionable defending, it has to be said. Keeper was left in no man's land. Okay, you know what? 2-1 at the break. Pretty happy with that. I know they've got a bit of a rotator team and they have got some of their younger players in, but we're still playing very, very well here. We've been clinical with our chances. We've not created a ton. I don't feel like I need to overcomplicate things here. Might regret saying that if they now score immediately. Maybe I should have overcomplicated things. Then again, this is a game that we went into with no expectation. We find ourselves in this kind of hard-to-fathom position. I want to be positive about it. I want to find crumbs of comfort. And the crumb that I'm finding right now is we are currently going toe-to-toe with a J1 team's kind of B team. Can we make something happen here? Takagi to Omarov. Lovely little touchdown by him. Getting into some space. Already has 1 assist. Could he find another? Kayanoki inside. Yamada goes across to Mitsuhashi. The right back pulls it across. The shot's blocked. That was a really good opportunity at the start of the second half to get a goal. Now I'm off with the ball for Kashima Antlers. Antlers looking to obviously change the game at this point. They have to try and make something happen. They are not going to want to bow out to J3 opposition. I suppose it's worth acknowledging at this point that this competition does see quite a lot of upsets. In real life this year, calendar year 2024 as I record this, if you're watching in the future, not entirely applicable, but the team that were top of J1 were knocked out by a university team in, one of the opening rounds. This is a competition where upsets happen all the time. I want to believe that we can become the next in the long chapter. We've got a free kick, though, to survive here. And fortunately for us, it's going to go over. Okay, you know what? An hour played here. We've done well so far player-wise, but I feel like there's room for improvement. Yoniyama, I'm going to bring in. Elsewhere, not loving the performance of Ataki at left-back. I'm going to bring in Jaemin here, the South Korean left-back. A very, very good little player. Elsewhere, I kind of want to bring in more fresh legs, but the options somewhat limited. I could bring in Sakurai, who's still learning to play left mid. I know he's awkward there, but I do feel like positional familiarity is somewhat overblown. This guy has the attributes to play in this position. I'm going to trust him to be able to do it. We're going to bring in a new look left-hand side to the team. And they are going to be the extent of my changes here. With half an hour left, I don't want to overcomplicate things. I know Kashima Antlers are creating a little bit, but it doesn't feel like they're overdue a goal, you know? It doesn't feel like we're holding on and it'd be a mistake not to make more drastic changes. In fact, it might be a mistake to make changes at all, because before the subs even happen, Takagi has picked up a goal. Kamori's got the assist. I mean, the ball here by Kamori is absolutely mad. I think I am going to stick with the changes we've made, mostly because they affect the left-hand side of the pitch, but Takagi adding a goal yet again in this game. He has been sensational. That is 2 to his name. He's on for a hat-trick. And like I said, I am going to confirm those tactical changes. Just getting some fresh legs on the left side of the pitch. Antlers now need to have a response. They need to make something happen. And they've only gone and done it. It's Marius Stefanescu. Again, that's definitely not how you say his name. It's the Romanian right winger. And he scored another. This one, I mean, who do you blame here? Do we just blame J-Min? I kind of want to blame the personnel here, but let's be honest. If you've played Football Manager this year, these goals happen a lot, don't they? Kind of short throw in the corner, whip to the back post. There's nothing you can do to stop them. They're just a facet of Football Manager this year. Hoping we can respond immediately. Antlers, of course, going to be looking for another goal in quick succession. The deficit down to 1. Omarov into the box. Takagi shoots. It was blocked. That might well have been a chance of the hat-trick. Komori has picked up a knock out on the right-hand side. I need to think about making a change there, but not before we see what we can make of this corner. Sakurai, fresh off the bench, the left midfielder, cutting inside, pulling the trigger, getting his second goal of the game, of the season, sorry. Yoniyama with the assist. That is 2 of the subs linking up. If the J1 side thought as they pulled 1 goal back, we were going to roll on our back and be there for the taking, that is not what has occurred here. Sakurai, on his right foot, pings it right into the top corner. No one is stopping that. Okay, Komori's picked up an injury. I am going to bring in Matsushita here. You might remember Matsushita as the man who had a case of mistaken identity with the whole penalty thing. He was actually injured back in April for 3 months. He's still coming back from injury. He's not played too many games for us, but in this game here, I'm going to have to bring him on. We've got, what, 10 minutes left, 2 goals to the good. Antlers potentially about to be upset hugely. If they get 1 back, though, it could be a very, very long 10 or so minutes, given the fact there could be plenty of extra time here. It's going to be with Morishita for them, the right midfielder, or rather the right back stepping forward. Matsumura plays it in behind. Keeper comes out, collects it. Baby Noda, lay on the ball, play dead. Waste time, son. We do not need the ball in play at this point. We can play at our own little tempo. Noda launching it towards Sakurai, the goal scorer, is never going to win it in the air, and while we may need to do some more defensive action here, Marius is going forward. He's on for the hat-trick. He's pulled it across. It's blocked away. It's headed away. We're going to live to fight another day. This is not comfortable one little bit. I'm just staring in the top corner. I'm just willing there to not be more highlights, and yet there's another highlight here. Matsumura plays it back to Ishihara, played into the box. This is not good, is it? He's got a hat-trick. He's got a pissing hat-trick. I just want to check, is this guy that good? I mean, they signed him on a free from Romania. He's got 1 goal in 20 games prior to this, and he's gone and got a hat-trick against me. The game is rigged. 2 minutes plus added time. 6 minutes of added time. Get me out of here. Get me out of it. No more highlights, Football Manager. Stop this. I want the upset of a century. We're only going to go and get the upset of a century. It finishes here. Tokyo 23-4. Kashima Antlers 3. That is a very unorthodox way to do things today, but I like the fact we've done it our way. We didn't have a lot of the ball. We caught them on the counter, crafted some great opportunities, and to be fair, we didn't create a load of chances, but those that we created, we took. Takagi and his finishing, and I suppose Sakurai with that wonder goal, ultimately the difference makers. I don't even know what we get for progressing that far in the Emperor's Cup. In this competition a couple of years ago, a second division team won the whole thing. It was Ventforet Kofu, I think is the name of the team that won it all. They then went into the Champions League of Asia as a second division team. If we want to do that, we've still got quite a lot of rounds to play. We've got Urawa Red Diamonds in our next game. I don't like these guys. The Reds, they are scary. They're currently in 14th in J1. Their media prediction was 5th, so they probably should be doing better. They've got a Romanian player as well. At least this guy's a centre-back, and also he's injured for 7 months. Okay, well, that's some good news. Now, that game against the Reds is scheduled for right before the match against Hollyhock, so I feel like we know what we're coming back for next time. That said, we've got a slightly less glamorous game up next. Kagoshima United. This is still an important league game. They've struggled a little bit in their last couple of games. Prior to that, they had been on an okay little run, but when you look at their form, when you look at their league position of 11th, we really should be winning this next game. Let's go and make that a reality, hopefully. Okay, folks, game number 2 today. Before we get into this game against Kagoshima, I'm getting very annoyed by Hollyhock. Hollyhock, they have quite a pretty badge. They're an inoffensive club on the face of it, and yet they are taunting me. They are mocking me. Yamada's unhappy at the moment. He's thinking he wants to leave the young advanced playmaker, and they keep saying they want to make a bid. I have rejected some bids for this guy, but none of them have been anywhere near something I'd be able to entertain. He's contracted for the next 3.5 years. He is our best centre mid. I'm not sure if he still is, but he was at one point listed as our key player. In fact, the potato has taken over. But nevertheless, Yamada is just irreplaceable. He is the one player who at the moment looks like he could be trying to force a move, at least of the first team players. Numata's a completely separate thing. Either way, if I am going to sell him, it won't be to bloody Hollyhock. Anyway, in terms of team news, I'm going to go with the exact same team that made that massive upset against Kashima Antlers. What an insane result that was. Worth noting, Batata has, got limited match fitness. His condition isn't the best. I've been told he can play 75 minutes. I'm going to have him on the bench here. Looking at the rest of the team, Komori actually really should not be in the starting 11. He is struggling a lot out on the right-hand side. He did do a fitness test. Apparently, it is not required. Look at that condition. Does anyone play a player with like half the heart? Because I definitely don't. I am going to play Matsushita there on the right-hand side. But in terms of the rest of the team, not going to change it. This is the kind of game that in isolation, you look at the league table, you think, we should be beating this team. We should be, comfortable against this team. I also know that when we took them on previously, it finished 0-0 and was one of the most uneventful games in recent memory of any World of Space series. Kagoshima, we need to have a better game today. The good news is, there is at the very least a kick-off highlight. If we could get off to the dream start, that would just be dandy, wouldn't it? We are without our key man, of course, Batata, but Omarov, a pretty good player to slot in, and we might be calling upon our attackers if we go a goal down. Why did I say anything about this being the kind of game we win? It's 1-0. It's 40 seconds in. Good start. I don't even know what to say here. Just defensively, we look like an absolute shambles, don't we? Who is that getting caught on the behind? It's Ataki. I feel like Ataki just might not be a left back. I mean, I've known that for a while. I've just kind of put it to the back of my mind and tried to ignore it. The worst thing is he probably would be quite a good centre-back. On paper, he might even be better than Takeshi. I mean, the transfer window's still open. Maybe I'll go find a left back. Maybe that's what I should be doing instead of just chilling and not doing anything. Matsui shoots. They've hit the woodwork. We're 2 minutes in. I'm not enjoying this. I thought we'd cleared it away, and then the throw-in is just into another highlight, isn't it? Mitsuhashi, lovely little tackle there, now looking to get the ball forward. Omarov, Yamada. What can Yamada do? Lays it wide to Matsushita. Has a point to prove, does this boy at right midfielder. A rare opportunity for him to start a game with Komori out. Would love to see him have that impact too. Yamada through the middle, giving it to Takagi. On the overlap is Omarov. Through the middle, shoots, hits one post, and spins out of play the other side. We're 3 minutes into this game. We could have had 3 goals. Omarov, he's hit the woodwork once already. He's now carrying the ball forward for us here. All on his lonesome. No one really closing him down. Lays it to Ataki. Yamada. Kayanoki shoots. Suboy in goal for them with not the most convincing of saves. Denise to maybe whip a ball in. This man has had a great reputation and great record when it comes to scoring free kicks. I need him to turn provider here, and instead they're just going to get it away from danger. Mitsuhashi back to Denise. Could he make something happen? He's cutting inside. Options left, options right. One of them was Matsushita. The keeper's denied him. I thought the highlight was going to end. No, the highlight is continuing. What is this match of football right now? We're a goal down. It is highlights galore. And we might need to do some defending here. Can inside to Kasaka for them. Bringing it through the middle. Ataki tackles it straight to Endo, who really should have hit the target there from 5 yards out. 21 minutes into this first half. It's not been comfortable, but it has been chances galore. There could be one here. It goes over everyone. Omarov is going to keep it alive. The Kyrgyzstani. It's not Kyrgyzstani. He's from Kyrgyz. Is it Kyrgyz? It's not Kyrgyzstan. Is it Kyrgyzstan he's from? What country is he from? It is Kyrgyzstan. And then it does say here his nationality is Kyrgyzstani. Someone thought I was saying Kazakhstani. No, it's a different country. I do know that this is a different country to Kazakhstan. I think other viewers have been getting confused. I've now confused myself. Help me. By the way, there's still a highlight going on here. Kayanoki's hit the woodwork. What am I doing today? This match is making me lose the plot. I mean, we've now had 7 shots to their 3, but there's only been 3 shots on target in the entire game. It's not been a classic. Since they've scored, they've had chances. Since they've scored, we've had probably the better of the chances, however. That said, we're yet to find a breakthrough here, and with 10 minutes left of the first half, that window of opportunity to maybe draw level before the break is closing, and it could be about to slam shut, because Can for them on the near side is going to get to the byline here. Players queuing up in the middle for him to aim for. Watanabe gets it, but Kayanoki battles away. Sadly, he can't pick out Takagi with his clearance now. We could find ourselves on the back foot again. Kasaka laying it inside to Can. He lays it down the line. That looked offside. The flag isn't raised. The shot goes wide. That could have been 2. Can with a free kick. Can he do it? No, he Kant is headed over. Okay, half-time here in this game. You look at the stats, I don't feel like we've been that bad, but actually, in terms of highlights, they have been the better team. I'm going to make the change that you were all probably expecting me to make sooner. We're going to go on the attack here. We're going to try and play on the front foot, and I'm going to sub on Batata to actually play as a right midfielder in this game. He can play out in this area. He's right-footed as well, and I need our star man here and now. Matsushita has not done the job for us out on the right flank. Elsewhere in the team, I'm looking at the defence, and I'm looking at the whole team. There's a load of players I could take off, and instead of overreacting too soon, I'm just going to make the one change. We've already got Shouty. Going to tell some of these players that they can make the difference and hope for a better second half. We're a goal down. We drew against this team previously. I don't want to drop more points against them. They're in 11th. We need to win. Batata's there. Heads it down. Omarov smooshes it in, but he's offside. The flag's raised. I thought he was onside at first viewing. It's not going to count. Batata's not going to get an assist within 2 minutes of coming on. I mean, given the fact that it was 0-0 last time we played them, and I've mentioned that a lot today, this game's been far more entertaining, hasn't it? At least for the neutral. There's been a lot of highlights. It's kind of crazy that it remains just a 1-goal game and a 1-0 game at that. Endo inside to Matsui. He cuts inside onto his right. Scores, and that feels like it's come completely against the run of play. Last couple of episodes, we've got great results, haven't we, in the Emperor's Cup? They've looked absolutely amazing, and then in league games, we've just absolutely capitulated. Matsui shoots, Yoda gets his fingertips to it, can't stop it hitting the back of the net. Okay, I'm going to make a double change here. Yoniyama is going to come in. Elsewhere, I'm going to bring in Yoshikawa too. Fresh legs in the midfield, I think, are going to be needed. Omarov has really struggled today, so I'm going to bring in Sakurai as well. The left-footed forward. He's got some important goals for us already in today's episode. I need him to get another important one for us here. There's 30 minutes left. We're 2 goals down. We've come back from 2 goals behind in a live commentary already this year. I need it to repeat itself. Does Noda have hands? Can we check? We've come back from 2 goals this season. I don't think we've come back from 3 goals to win, ever, here at Tokyo 23. It's not the best goalkeeping, is it? I mean, the only thing that could make this more embarrassing now is if they get another. I feel like what's happened here is I thought, let's go on the attack, let's play on the front foot, and actually, maybe I should have just stuck with a counter-attacking style of play, because it's apparent this has not worked today. The changes I've made at the break have not succeeded. The tackles put in there, I was almost anticipating a penalty to be given. We live to fight another day, but there's no time left, really. There's 23 minutes. We need a goal now to try and inspire some kind of comeback. It's going to have to materialise from seemingly nowhere. Yoniyama just being ushered away from goal, lays it back to Takeshi. Otaki, now with the ball for us, lays it to Kayanoki. Nice build-up play, but there has to be end product. We need a bit of fight amongst us. Otaki gives it back inside to Yoniyama. Lovely ball to Takagi. He cuts inside, he shoots, he scores. It's 1. We need 2 more if we want a point. Sakurai trying to bring it forward, loses it. Kayanoki, though, has the ball for us now. Bringing it from the left-hand side, bringing it onto his right foot. Not sure why he shot from there, in all honesty. Yoshikawa with the ball, laying it to Yoniyama. The 2 centre mid subs linking up kind of. Takagi latches onto the loose ball. Batata's been quiet since he's come on at right mid. Maybe he can still have an impact, though. Kayanoki, Takagi heads it. It's 3-2. It's 3-2. I'm not going to say anything. I didn't even commentate over the replay of our first goal because I thought, it's just going to be a false dawn, isn't it? There's no point in getting too excited and too hyped. Let's just get on with the episode. Now I'm starting to believe. That said, whilst I am believing, time is running out. We've got 8 minutes left here. I'm already so attacking. It's kind of difficult to know what other changes I can really do. We'll move Yoniyama to advanced playmaker, I think. And in fact, I'm going to play him through the middle here in a bit of a narrower midfield setup. I think that might be the order of the day here now. We normally play very wide now. We're about to make the pitch as narrow as we can and try and catch them out by playing it through the middle. I feel like at this point, that has to be the game plan. Of course, that game plan will be swiftly abandoned if we score from this highlight that is going on. I forgot to pause the game. Football Manager things means this is probably just a pointless highlight when nothing happens. And yet, I want to believe Kayanoki, he's bringing it forward. What can he do? Batata hits it over. That was a chance. Okay, I'm going to very attacking. Time is running down. You can see how many players we've now got committed in this final third. They're trying to play it out from the back. We're trying to force a turnover in possession. Sadly, we're not going to do it. And now that they get the ball past that initial press, there's lots of space for them to manoeuvre in. That said, that is a gift of a ball there that now sees us bringing it forward. Batata, we are 3 goals down. We need a goal more attacking at left back. Options in the middle to aim for. I'm already thinking about if I change anything if we score one. I kind of want to go for the win here. Kayanoki whips it in. Yoniyama's under it. Suboi collects. Maybe I shouldn't be planning what we do if we get one more goal, but I think if we got another, I'd stay on the front foot. I feel like that's the Tokyo 23 way at this point. When we go on the attack, we commit to the attack. Nice little header there. Yoshikawa launches it. Sakurai under it. Headed away initially, but Mitsuhashi to Batata. Takagi finishes it. He's offside. He's off. I've seen the flag. I feel like Football Manager just wants to upset me here. My gut instinct was he was offside anyway, but I saw the flag raised nice and early by the official. It remains 3-2. There's 5 minutes of added time. Is there any late drama here? Looking at how this game's played out, I feel like we deserve a point for our battling, but when you go 3 goals down, you can't expect anything to happen. And in spite of a late attempted comeback, we lose for a second league game in a live commentary in a row. The contrast between our cup performances and our league performances really is something to be admired, isn't it? Takagi got man of the match. I'll give him a little bit of praise. You, my friend, are the ray of sunshine in an otherwise dreary day. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very annoyed about that result. I wonder how much tiredness plays a factor. Okay, look, I am downbeat, but to end the week, I know we can end on a high, because we've got Reds and Hollyhock to take on. We've got one of the best teams in Japanese football history. I think they've won the Emperor's Cup more than anyone else. And then we've got our big rival at the top of J3. They are slowly but surely vanishing at the top, and winning that next game is probably going to be essential if you want to keep touching with distance with them. Anyway, folks, have a lovely rest of your day. We're back tomorrow to end the week with a bang. It's me, Jack. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.